As a second-generation Kansas City real estate developer, George Birt has a long history of successful residential projects. During the 1990s, Birt saw the emergence of the loft condominium market nationwide and believed Kansas City's urban landscape was ripe for a downtown renaissance powered by new housing choices.
I grew up in Kansas City and I returned here after being gone for 30 years about 5 years ago. And one of the first people I met was George Birt. George was kind enough to answer my call, and he had no idea who I was. And then he was kind enough to grant me some time, and I was trying to explore exactly what was going on in Kansas City as I prepared to move back here. And I soon learned that George was a very thoughtful guy who knew exactly what he was doing.
I've always been impressed by the enthusiasm that George exudes about development possibilities in the urban core. We first met and had conversations about this many years ago, and I knew then that he would bring so much to not only the River Market but in the entire area, because he is a role model, he is a pioneer, and I applaud his efforts.
Birt's company, Downtown Developers Incorporated, earned that reputation as a pioneer, redeveloping historic buildings in the River Market neighborhood and downtown Kansas City. In 2002, Birt was among the first urban developers to build a newly constructed residential loft project at Conover Place. A year later, Downtown Developers and Capital Resources Group turned toward the 1930s-era building at 5th and Locust Streets that formerly housed a garage for Yellow Cab Company. The plan was to rehabilitate the existing structure into 16 mezzanine lofts connected to a new building housing 31 condominium units. Bridgeworks Lofts would be the downtown region's first combination of a new building connected with an historic structure.
Certainly people, all of us, when we're looking at housing options for ourselves, like a variety of possibilities, and certainly Bridgeworks Lofts is a very creative approach. It is a combination of the old and the new, a great location. So it will be very attractive not only to buyers at this point, but also into the future.
Bridgeworks, being a new construction project, showed Kansas City and other developers that new construction can work, both from a marketing sense and an economic sense. There is a demand for the residents and the home buyer to have the conveniences of new construction. George has found a way to make new construction work in these economic times, and that's certainly to his credit.
Bridgeworks Lofts proved to be an immediate success, providing a mix of housing choices with home prices that ranged from around $150,000 to more than $400,000.
He is able to deliver that product at a price that is affordable by the buyer, and I think his success in not only constructing on time and marketing at a reasonably fast pace shows that George certainly is to be commended for his insight and his knowledge of the market and his ability to create a physical project that makes sense.
Well, George Birt and the other downtown developers have made major contributions to our community. They really have been pioneers, and I applaud all of them for their efforts.
All right. To accept the award for Outstanding Project, please welcome George Birt.
I want to thank the Housing Choices Coalition and all their various members and everyone here today for this recognition. I think it's been a work in progress in this community over the last 10 or 12 years, or in the River Market for the last 20 or 25 years, to build a greater diverse community. And I think we have a great start in Kansas City with the efforts to date, but we're not nearly done yet. And there's a lot of efforts that have to go forward to bring choices to residents downtown at all price points and all economic strata. And I think that the efforts to date have proven productive for a lot of individuals in the community. But I think going forward, we need to double the population downtown. We need to get 30,000, 40,000 people in our greater downtown area to really build a vibrant downtown community. I think the efforts in the inner ring suburbs are applaudable because they bring greater density, greater use of resources, and in particular, the infilling or backfilling of heretofore underutilized parcels really results in a great deal of savings, as pointed out earlier in the presentation. So I think if we can continue to backfill what we have today, use our existing infrastructure more efficiently and effectively, we'll build a greater community. And I think there are a lot of efforts amongst individuals that came well before we did in terms of downtown efforts, and the Mel Mallons in particular, and the Roger Bufords and others that started long ago in the mid to early 1980s, the late 1970s, really set the stage for what's happening today. And I think Cormac Barron's efforts, their efforts in Quality Hill in the 80s were really instrumental in setting the west side of downtown in a position to grow. So I think it's a long road. There's lots more to be done, and hopefully we'll be involved into the future. I want to thank you once again. Thank you.
Congratulations, George, and everyone at Downtown Developers for your outstanding contributions to urban living during the past decade. Bridgeworks is a great project, and it's exciting to see our downtown neighborhood revitalized through new housing choices. Thank you for being a pioneer in downtown Kansas City. Our final award this morning is for Outstanding Individual.